Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Shirk, and welcome to Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining me today, all the way from the West Coast, is my co-host, Jared Brick. Jared, hi there. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Nice to join you again today.
Oh, happy to have you. And joining us from North Salem, New York, is Robin Albin with Insurgents. Robin, thanks so much for joining us today on Digital Champions.
Thank you for having me. This sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, let's see. Tell us what you do over there at Insurgents.
Okay. Well, Insurgents is a branding and innovation agency, and we specialize in beauty, health, wellness, luxury lifestyle, CPG, but we dabble in just about everything. But that's our sweet spot.
Got it, Robin. What are some of the pain points?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say,
what are some of those pain points that you feel like your clients and your customers are dealing with when they're coming to you?
Well, at the moment, I think that there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty, and people are just really having a hard time making a decision. I don't know whether it's the economy or the politics or the world affairs, but it's really become a very unusual scenario. And in all the years I've been working in the branding space, I've never seen anything quite like this. And in conversations with colleagues and peers, they're all seeing the same thing as well.
Other than this present moment that we're in and these challenges, what are some of the typical kind of secret sauce specialty areas that you guys do that you feel like is different in the branding world?
Well, what we really do is we are a human-centric branding agency. We really look for the heart and soul of a brand and try to distill that down to one word. While a lot of brand founders, if you go and you speak to them, stakeholders, they will give you a litany of a long yada, yada, yada of what their brand is. And what happens is that all gets lost in the sauce. By having the discipline of drilling it down to one word and then threading that one word throughout every aspect, every touch point of the brand, you get a stronger, more distinctive brand. Think, for example, of a brand like Volvo, they stand for safety. And so everything that they do revolves around that one word. When I created the Origins brand for Estee Lauder, our brand word was respect. And so that really drove everything that we did, from product development to our service module to the way we treated the consumer at the counter. So that one word is what differentiates us from a lot of other branding agencies out there.
And Robin, I'm itching, sitting here waiting to ask you this question. How do you distill it to the word? Who makes the decision that that's the word? I would have never thought respect would be a word with origins with Estee Lauder. I mean, it makes sense when you say it, but that would have never been something that would have just been obvious.
Well, it's not obvious. We have a very specific process which starts with detonating. Again, we take a brand or a company and we blow it up. We take it apart piece by piece and look at every single aspect and asset of the brand individually. And then we weigh it against what's happening in the world. And I think that's another miss that a lot of companies have. They look at themselves in isolation and they don't look at themselves as the world sees them or what they might solve in the world. So, for example, when we did Origins, we were looking at the impact of the internet and computers that were coming and really making people feel very marginalized. We were looking at Reaganomics, which were really making people feel like have and have nots. And so what we discovered was that when you went to the beauty counter, the beauty advisor would look at you and say, "My dear, you don't look so good today." And so that was all part of the world ethos. And by taking a look at that and said, what's the common denominator here? And we found that people were not feeling respected or in control of their lives. So that's what we do, is we take all these assets and look at them against what's happening in the world, and then look for something that not only has a focus for the moment, but has a vision for the future. Because a word like respect never goes out of style. People always want to be respected. You look at a brand like Airbnb, their word is belonging. No matter what or where you find them, they are creating a sense of belonging. So that's really what we feel is the secret sauce and the message that gives a brand consistency and power.
Oh, well said. Just love that. Well said. And even like, and power. And you just let that breathe for a second. Robin, I want to go back to the first, one of the answers that I believe you gave to Jared when you were saying, there's a lot of indecision in the marketplace right now. You said you hadn't seen this in a long time. Can you break that down a little bit about when you mean that they're not investing, they don't know where to go, they don't know how to move forward? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think people are it's a little like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. And I wrote a piece about this a couple of weeks ago, actually, where it's become a self-fulfilling prophecy. People are very, very fearful that there is a recession coming, and they want to scale back. They're looking at the firings that are happening in tech. They're looking at the consumer reaction to inflation and gas prices, and they're saying, what do we do? What do we do? And I think the worst thing that a brand can do in this particular moment is to pull back and to take themselves off the radar of the consumer, because brands have a way of building confidence. And when a brand stays the course at difficult times and acts a little bit as a lighthouse and puts a stake in the ground, then consumers see them, they latch on to them, and they begin to build trust and loyalty. When you vanish from the scenario, which is what I'm seeing people doing, it really takes a very, very long time to get back into the game. So I think that's the big mistake that a lot of companies and brands are making right now, is that they're overreacting to something that may or may not happen.
Got it. And then as a last tip, Robin, how would you recommend companies and brands go about kind of working on that one word, getting in touch with insurgents, or moving forward?
Well, I think one of the things that I think that companies and brands do is they build all the bells and whistles, they build websites, they go out in the marketplace before they define their brand. And brand is so much of an aid to help you make better decisions, to help you make thoughtful decisions, to keep things consistent. So my recommendation is brand first, stick to your brand, and build off of that and your value system that comes along with the brand that you build, and you can't go wrong.
Well, Robin, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
Such valuable insight. And I have to ask, is that a wine rack behind you?
Yes, that was the wine rack. I was trying to move out of the way, but it's always 5 o'clock someplace. So, after a tough day at the office, I just swivel around and scoot over and grab one.
Well, you said you wanted to have fun on the show, so I looked at the wine rack. I'm like, she's ready for some fun.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you very much. This was great fun, and hope to see you again.
All right. Thank you. And Jared, thank you so much. Great questions today. Appreciate your riding shotgun.
Oh, it's easy with great guests. Thanks, Charlene.
Oh, there you go. All right, folks, if you'd like to learn more about what they're doing at Insurgents and maybe help Robin help you figure out your one word, you can check her out by starting at dailyadbrief.com. I'm Charlene Shirk. Thanks so much for joining us on Digital Champions, and we look forward to learning something new with you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.